All right, welcome back here on the Xfinity Sports Report, your Colorado high school connection. Again, just got to look at all those highlights from the Pepsi Center, the show All-Star Game. Happy to bring in Che Vialpando. He's the man behind the All-Star Game. Che, great to have you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, congratulations on yet another great edition of this show. And it really, if you haven't been out there to see it, make sure you go out again coming up next year. It is the very best of the best in boys and girls high school basketball in the state of Colorado. And boy, I tell you what, that's another great showing that we saw here this year.
Well, thank you for the compliment. It was a great game again. A lot of great talent out on the floor, and it's fun to watch these kids get out on the NBA floor and on a game day and have some fun.
Well, and that's the big thing too, and I think that's why having the Denver Nuggets backing this is so big. And we had the press conference about a couple of weeks ago to introduce the rosters. We had that for you here on XSR, and I was talking to a lot of the boys and the girls, and all of them, almost, Che, said this was a goal of mine when I started high school basketball. I wanted to play in the show. That is to make you guys feel great.
It does, and that was a goal of ours when we first started the event, is to make it kind of the premier game, in the state, and make sure that we put together a great game and the kids want to play in it.
All right, let's go back 15 years. How did the event get started?
Really, it was just something that the Nuggets and our sales team wanted to put together so that we could showcase the best players in the state. And we wanted to, highlight that. The Pepsi Center had just opened. Felt like it was a great venue, a great time, and we kind of started to put it together and rolled out that first version.
Yeah, did you have a little maybe apprehensiveness to say, okay, are people going to like this? Will people show up? We might select the kids, but will they show up? Because they certainly have.
Well, with the backing of the Nuggets and then our partnership with Gold Crown Foundation, a lot of the kids having played, through their leagues coming up. Between those two brands, I think it really helped bolster, the potential success of the event. And then you put it at Pepsi Center, and a lot of good things kind of came together.
Right. You go look at one of those practices early in the week. Again, they get to practice on the Nuggets practice floor. The smile on the kids' faces. They're playing against their friends, their opponents, their enemies throughout the course of the season. But to have it all come together is really, that's something special. This is not an easy game, though, to put on. Talk a little bit about what it takes to put on an annual All-Star game like this.
Yeah, there's some moving parts and pieces, but over 15 years, we've had the ability to kind of hone the process. Again, starts with that partnership with Gold Crown Foundation. We've had some great supporting sponsors over the years. This year, Dick's Sporting Goods stepped up and did a great job for us. Then we put together that media panel, and the media panel is crucial to the event. They are the ones who select the players. They put them on the teams, create the matchups that are going to create some excitement for that game.
One of the things that I love about this game, there's a lot of things, but the fact that it represents all classifications, and something you guys didn't have to do, but you mandated that a 1A player needs to be selected on each boys and girls team, a 2A player, a 3A player, and then of course 4A and 5A players are selected anyway because they come from the bigger schools. But I think that inclusiveness is really cool.
It's something that we did from the outset, and it's a piece of the game that I think will stay in for as long as the game exists. Really gives the opportunity for the smaller classifications and their top players to come and perform, on the biggest stage against the best players.
Yeah, and you get one of those maybe Eastern Plains kids that's coming out to play, but you get that whole town nearly travels, don't they?
It's fun. They had a lot of support out of the smaller classification schools, smaller cities, and towns from around the state, and yes, they do follow, and it's fun.
So 15 years now the show has been going on. Again, it was played Saturday afternoon at the Pepsi Center right before the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. This is there's so many good players that have come through, Che. I mean, so many games. What are maybe some of your best memories, some of the top players that you've seen come through?
On the girls' side, Abby Wayner was really special. She made the team as a freshman and played in the game for a couple of years before moving on to some of the national All-Star games. On the boys' side, you've got NBA guys like Nick Fazikis from Ralston Valley, Reggie Jackson from Palmer. We can't forget Jason Smith from from Platte Valley.
Right.
So all guys still doing it in the NBA and or having a chance there.
Yeah, I remember watching Reggie Jackson in that show All-Star game a number of years ago. Knew he was going to be a good player at Boston College. I'm not sure if I saw Reggie Jackson being the type of NBA player he is. He was blown up this year for Oklahoma City, got traded mid-year to the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, there's some really great players. And we've seen freshmen playing the game too, haven't we?
We have. We had Dom Collier,
Right.
Was a
Right.
freshman, and he played all 4 years, and he's over at CU now, and he's a heck of a player.
Really some great high school players come out of the state of Colorado. Che, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Hey, congratulations on yet another successful run with this show, and well, here's to many more years.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for your participation over the years on that media selection panel, which isn't an easy job.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's a player that you like that got in the game, I selected him. If there's a player that got left out, it was Neil Devlin of the Denver Post. All right, Che Vialpando with the Denver Nuggets. We'll take a timeout. More to come here in the program. We'll get you back to the Diamond baseball highlights coming up next here on the Xfinity Sports Report.